going to do some more pages that we can cut up for collage. And so I'm going to be using my powdered charcoal pencil. I'll be using my white pen, my 0.3 pen, my 0.3 pencil. Let's see, linseed oil or walnut oil can be used. I'm going to be using white acrylic paint, and then I'm going to just have some little collage elements. I'll be putting in there some of my old papers, and then here's a book magazine. I love this magazine, Daphne Diary. It has really just beautiful pictures in it, lots of great color and stuff, and I always take little just snippets of those pages to just kind of add, just add some little bit of color with this more black and white design. These I'll be cutting those up. But the first thing I'm going to do is just get like a soft brush. Let's see. I'm going to use my angular brush to do my painting and using it with the oil. I'm going to use just a soft, you can get these brushes at, cosmetic brushes, really soft brushes. And they're great for applying, painting with the soft charcoal. So I'm just making little marks here and there with this. It's kind of random. I guess I'm going to be doing kind of oval shapes. Or maybe not. No, if I want to do that. Anyways, you can just do any random shape you want. Because then, also I'm going to use a fixative. So I'm going to fix this. And then I'm going to go in with my 0.3 pencil and just start to scribble. Lines. I like to connect, so I just make these shapes, overlapping shapes. And just remember, this is not a finished piece of artwork. We'll be tearing this up and using elements of it in our work, unless you find that you really love it just as it is, which can happen. Okay, I'm going to just I like to do this little tick mark thing here. Just gives it a little bit of movement and interest. You can even draw that way. You can draw, make a tick mark, and then continue your line. That's probably the best way to do it. Just want to get a nice area that becomes a nice web. some of that moves a little bit. Okay, then you can move in with your pen. This pen is great because you can scribble with it. I'm just loosely holding it really loosely and just letting it draw. Yeah, it's forming a nice web. I've done this before where you can put music on and just listen to the music and do this. Okay, maybe kind of filling in some of these areas. Let's see if I want to use the pen first. It's kind of skipping. Actually, I don't want to use the pen yet. I want to wait till I get some white paint on there before I use the pen. Okay, maybe adding some. Another thing you can do, you have to, I'm going to get a spray bottle. You can use acetone, which I'll show you here, which creates this effect, which is really cool. I don't have any with me, but I'm just going to kind of fake it. Okay, I'm going to put some over here. Same thing. So you can kind of fake it with the water. So now I'm going to have to let all that dry. But I can continue working on these areas here while that's drying. Okay, so now I'm going to get some linseed oil or walnut oil. And I can move some of that charcoal around, create another layer. See how cool that is? Then you get that translucent layer underneath. In fact, I have an idea. Let me try. Oh, it's not working too well. I was trying to use a thin brush to get that, but it doesn't seem to want to move with it. So I can just, I'll just maybe use like a tip. This. See if that's dry enough. Okay, I'm going to do some finger stuff going on there. Just play. That's all I'm doing. Playing and experimenting, seeing what I like, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I might put a little bit of do some more there. And even let that maybe drip a little bit. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I'm going to add a little bit of white paint and just make it like really light layers. So just adding a little bit of that white paint just to kind of mix it in with that charcoal. You can do a really nice painting, portrait using this technique. And just getting my pencil and just scribbling. It's all about building up these like really intense, dense areas that you can tear apart and use in a collage. And it's still pretty wet. I'm just adding my fingerprints in there. I like that texture that's happening with that. See if I can bring this up a little closer. And just building up more and more pencil line. See, what you'll start doing is you'll start doing your mark making. And mine always looks like, I don't know, maybe lace or some kind of a tail. That seems to be what I end up doing, or a little leaf motif.
or like gathers. I do a lot of, because I used to do a lot of sewing, so some of my stuff looks like, you know, gathers of fabric. I love that texture and that look of a gather. And here I'm just doing some random writing, you know, really really loose, and just, you can hardly tell what I'm writing, which is the point. And then I go in with my little tiny white brush and kind of dot in between some of those letters, and then that creates a whole other texture. You know, instead of just putting dots, I'm putting dots in the areas inside these letters, which makes it a more personal for me. Sorry about that jumping. Yeah, I like it in contrast with the larger little gather things that I have over there on the left. And all my stuff always, a lot of it turns into like wing formations. That's a lot of it too. It's just all those things that, you know, that you're attracted to when you start doing something like this. It just comes out. Yeah, I think that looks really cool. It's just a fun little texture, and you can put that anywhere in your artwork. You can do it around a collar, or, you know, around the halo. You could do this kind of writing and do those little dots in the halo format. It's just, it's nice to have this stuff around to refer to, you know. Okay, now I'm just going in with I'm getting some old vintage paper from a magazine, from a book, old book, and then some color. And just putting just making a little bit of collage, just adding a little bit of color to the black and white and gray. So, you can make abstract artwork. This could become an abstract piece of art in itself. But for me, I'd like to just hold on to these things so that I have them, so I can remember, you know, some of the things that I've done. Now I'm just adding little pieces of lace and stuff, you know, just seeing what looks good. Okay, now I'm going in with some of the walnut oil, or you can use linseed oil, and just seeing how that mixes in with the charcoal, which I really like to do. And it's surprising, but you can really do a lot of heavy pencil line work. Here you can kind of see that close up a little bit better. Yeah, you can get some really dense marks with pencil. When you're doing it on that linseed oil. And it's just something I discovered playing around in my sketchbook. It's really good to have a sketchbook so that you can play around with some of these techniques. And then I do this thing, my marks, I like to make lines and then little smudges. I make little tick marks. Here I'm just using charcoal. And I'm just going in with pen and just making that really, really dense. Controlled scribbles is what I call it.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to probably work on this a little bit more, but basically I'm just going to just keep layering it. I might add some more of the charcoal, maybe some more of the papers. I like working with these little dots and doing writing and then filling in some of the areas with the white. But like, you know, just any of these little pieces will be really cool to cut up and use in our pieces. So I'll show you, I'll work on it a little bit and show you a couple of stages of it, because I'm going to basically just be doing the same thing over and over. And I think you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I'll show you the rest in pictures.
Well, I just wanted to show you, I was looking at this piece and I saw a face in here, so I thought I would just kind of show you what I did. It's really a rough face, but this is the kind of stuff that I love to do. I love to be able to do a rich background and then see an image and see, I see that kind of wing or arm coming from her. So I saw that. I thought, you know what, I'm going to just paint this rough little face just for fun. And just using the white paint, mixing it in with, you know, the charcoal and everything on there. So you can develop this stuff as far as you want to go. I'm just showing you these techniques, and then you can, you know, I don't want you to copy this, what I just did, but I just want to give you ideas and techniques so that you can see, you know what mediums that you like together, and what, you know, what things you want to push further with, develop more. And that's the whole point. So there's my little wing person.